Last month, a mechanic told a woman she needed an $8,000 transmission rebuild because her car was jerking and slipping gears. But 15 minutes and $0 later, I had her car running like new with nothing but a simple electronic reset. And here's what's going to blow your mind. This isn't some one-time miracle. This is the reality for 97% of modern vehicle problems. Your car doesn't need expensive parts. It just needs to be turned off and back on again. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how to do it yourself. Welcome back to the channel. If you've ever felt that sinking feeling when your check engine light comes on, or when a mechanic quotes you thousands for repairs that sound suspiciously vague, this video is about to change everything. Because what I'm about to reveal are professional-grade reset procedures that mechanics use every single day in their shops, but rarely tell customers about. Why? Because a reset takes 5 minutes and generates zero revenue, while a sensor replacement bills for $200 and a transmission rebuild bills for thousands. Your modern vehicle contains between 50 and 150 electronic control units. That's more computing power than the spacecraft that landed on the moon. These electronic modules store adaptive memory. They learn how you drive, what fuel you use, and even the temperature where you live. When that data gets corrupted, the entire system can malfunction. Think about the last time your computer froze. You restarted it, right? The same logic applies to your car. So let's get into the resets that will save you serious money. And stick around because I'm going to share a real story about how one of these tricks saved someone over $4,000 in unnecessary repairs. Reset number 1, the emergency battery disconnect. This is the oldest trick in the book, but most people do it completely wrong. The concept is simple. You disconnect the battery to cut power to all electronic modules, forcing them to clear corrupted adaptive memory and start fresh. It's like performing a hard reset on your phone. But if you just yank off the battery cable and slap it back on 30 seconds later, you're only doing half the job. Here's the professional procedure. First, make absolutely sure your vehicle is completely off. Turn the ignition off and remove the key. Now locate your battery. It's usually under the hood, but in some vehicles it's in the trunk or under a seat. You'll see 2 terminals, positive with a red cover and negative with a black cable. You're only going to disconnect the negative terminal. Use a wrench to loosen the nut until you can wiggle the cable off the terminal post. Be careful not to let that cable touch any metal part of the car. Here's the step that changes everything. After disconnecting the cable, press and hold the brake pedal for a full 30 seconds. Modern vehicles have capacitors in various modules that store residual electrical charge even after the battery is disconnected. When you press the brake pedal, you're activating circuits that drain these capacitors completely. This ensures all modules are truly powered down. Now comes the waiting game. I recommend waiting at least 15 minutes, but for stubborn issues, wait 30 minutes. During this time, all learned data in the adaptive memory is being erased. Fuel trims, idle speed adjustments, shift points, throttle response maps, everything goes back to factory default. After your wait, reconnect the negative terminal and make sure it's tight. A loose connection can cause electrical problems all by itself. Turn the ignition to the on position without starting the engine. You'll see dashboard lights come on. Wait about 10 seconds, then start the engine. Don't be alarmed if the engine idles rough for a minute or two. The ECU is relearning idle speed. If you have an automatic transmission, those first few shifts might feel different because the transmission control module is also relearning. This is completely normal. What does this fix? Check engine lights often disappear. Rough idle stabilizes. Transmission shifting improves. I've used this exact method to fix a Ford F-150 that went into limp mode on the highway. The dealership wanted $2,800 for a new throttle body. After this battery reset, every single warning light went off, and the truck drove perfectly. But wait, there's an even more targeted approach that saves your radio presets and clock settings. Reset number 2, strategic fuse cycling. If the battery reset is a sledgehammer, fuse cycling is a scalpel. Instead of resetting your entire vehicle, you can target just the specific module that's misbehaving. Every vehicle has at least 1 fuse box, usually 2, one under the dashboard and one under the hood. Inside are dozens of fuses protecting specific circuits: engine control unit, transmission control module, body control module, ABS system, and more. The key is identifying which fuse controls the module you need to reset. You can find this information in your owner's manual or on the fuse box cover itself. Look for labels like ECU, PCM, TCM, or BCM. Here's the procedure. Make sure the ignition is completely off. Locate and pull the specific fuse you need using a fuse puller or needle nose pliers. Pull it straight out gently, set it aside, and wait 10 minutes. Then insert the fuse back into the same slot, making sure it seats properly. Turn the ignition on and check if the problem is resolved. I had a Dodge Charger with harsh transmission shifts after an oil change. The quick lube confused the transmission control module. Instead of a full battery reset, I pulled just the TCM fuse, waited 10 minutes, and within 5 miles of driving, the transmission shifted smoothly again. Total time, 15 minutes. Total cost, $0. This method also works for frozen infotainment screens. Try pulling the fuse for your radio or infotainment system, wait 10 minutes, reinstall it, and about 80% of the time the screen comes back to life. Now let me show you a reset that specifically targets sluggish acceleration. Reset number 3, the throttle body relearn. Modern throttles are electronic. When you press the gas pedal, you're sending an electrical signal to the ECU, which commands a motor to open the throttle body. Over time, carbon builds up, sensors drift, or the ECU's learned idle speed becomes incorrect. The result is sluggish acceleration, rough idle, or stalling. Many drivers assume the throttle body needs replacement for $300 to $600, but often a throttle relearn procedure solves the problem for free. Here's how. Start with the vehicle completely off. Turn the ignition to the on position. Dashboard lights on, but engine not running. Wait 3 full seconds. Now press the accelerator pedal all the way to the floor and release it quickly. Do this 5 times within 5 seconds. After the 5th press, wait 7 seconds. Then press the accelerator all the way down and hold it for a full 15 seconds. You might notice the check engine light starts flashing. That means the ECU is entering relearn mode. After 15 seconds, release the pedal and wait another 7 seconds. Turn the ignition completely off. Now start the engine and let it idle without touching the gas pedal for at least 2 minutes. After 2 minutes, turn the engine off, wait 10 seconds, then start it again. Take the vehicle for a drive and accelerate gently. After about 10 miles of mixed driving, the system should be fully adapted. I had a Toyota Tacoma owner with a noticeable lag when pressing the gas. 2 shops wanted to clean or replace the throttle body. I walked him through this procedure over the phone. 5 minutes later, he called me back saying the lag was completely gone. Here's where things get really interesting, because the next method uses technology you already have. Reset number 4, the OBD2 scanner method. An OBD2 scanner gives you a direct line to your car's brain. You can buy a basic scanner for $20 to $50, and it can read and clear check engine light codes. A mid-range scanner costs $100 to $200 and can view live data and perform reset functions. Here's why this matters. When a check engine light comes on, your vehicle stores a diagnostic trouble code. Without a scanner, you're driving blind. Shops know this and use it to their advantage. Let me tell you about a woman in California who was told she needed a new catalytic converter for $1,200 because her check engine light was on with code P0420. She bought a $30 scanner, read the code, and called me. I asked how the car was driving. She said perfectly fine. I told her to clear the code with the scanner and drive for a few days. She drove for 2 weeks. The light never came back on. What happened? At some point, she'd used cheap gas or been stuck in heavy traffic, causing a temporary condition where the oxygen sensors detected lower efficiency. The ECU stored the code and turned on the light, but the catalytic converter was fine. She saved $1,200 with a $30 tool. Beyond reading codes, scanners let you clear them, which essentially resets the ECU. Many issues don't reoccur after a code clear, especially if caused by temporary conditions. Now I want to show you a reset for when your car is acting completely possessed. Reset number 5, the complete system purge. This is not for everyday situations. This is for when your vehicle is in limp mode and won't come out, your transmission is shifting erratically, or you have multiple warning lights with no clear cause. This procedure combines the battery reset and fuse cycling but takes it much further. Start by turning off the ignition completely. Disconnect the negative battery terminal. Open both fuse boxes and locate the fuses for the engine control module, transmission control module, and body control module. Pull all 3 fuses and set them aside. Press and hold the brake pedal for 30 seconds to drain residual power. Here's the critical difference. Wait a full 30 minutes. Not 15, not 20. A full 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, reinstall the 3 fuses. Reconnect the negative battery terminal and tighten it securely. Turn the ignition to the on position and let it sit for 30 seconds. Start the engine and let it idle with all accessories off for 5 minutes. The RPMs might fluctuate and the engine might sound rough. That's normal. After 5 minutes, turn on the air conditioning and idle for another 5 minutes. Turn off the engine, wait 10 seconds, start it again, and let it idle 2 more minutes. Now comes the relearn drive cycle. Drive on residential streets at 25 to 35 miles per hour for about 5 miles. Then drive 45 to 55 miles per hour for another 5 miles. Finally, drive at 60 to 70 miles per hour on the highway for 10 miles. I had a Hyundai Sonata owner told by a dealership that his transmission needed rebuilding for $4,200 because the car was stuck in limp mode. Before authorizing the repair, he called me. I asked if he'd recently had electrical work done. He said yes, a new alternator 2 weeks prior. The modules had lost power and never properly reinitialized. I walked him through this complete system purge. After the relearn drive cycle, the car was shifting perfectly through all gears. He saved over $4,000 with patience and the right procedure. Let me give you 3 quick bonus resets that solve specific annoying problems. Bonus reset 1. TPMS light. After inflating your tires to the correct pressure, that tire pressure light might still be on. Most vehicles have a TPMS reset button under the steering wheel or inside the glove box. Press and hold it until the light blinks 3 times. Start the engine and drive for 10 minutes above 30 miles per hour. The system relearns the pressures and the light goes off. Shops charge $50 to $75 to do this. You just did it for free. Bonus reset 2. Infotainment freeze. Touchscreen frozen? For many GM vehicles, press and hold the home and fast forward buttons simultaneously for 10 seconds until the screen goes black. For Nissan, hold the power button for 10 seconds. For Chrysler, Dodge, or Jeep, press the temperature up and temperature down buttons together for 8 seconds. This reboots the system and clears 80% of software glitches. Bonus reset 3. Power windows. After disconnecting your battery, power windows often lose their one-touch function. Roll each window all the way down and hold the switch for 5 seconds after it reaches the bottom. Then roll it all the way up and hold for 5 seconds. Repeat 2 or 3 times. The window control module relearns the full travel range and restores auto up and auto down functionality. Here's what you need to understand about when these resets work and when they don't. These procedures are incredibly effective for electronic confusion and software glitches, but they won't fix actual mechanical failures. If you have a physically worn transmission, a truly failed sensor, or damaged wiring, a reset won't help. A good rule of thumb: if your problem appeared suddenly, especially after a battery replacement or sensor work, try a reset first. If the problem developed gradually over months with increasing severity, it's more likely mechanical and needs real repair. Also, be aware that some European and luxury vehicles may require dealer programming after certain resets. Always check your owner's manual for security system requirements before disconnecting the battery. So, let me wrap this up with the most important takeaway. Your modern vehicle is extraordinarily complex, but that complexity makes it vulnerable to electronic errors that are simple to fix if you know how. The 5 reset methods I've shown you today are your toolkit for addressing these issues before you spend a single dollar on parts or labor. Master these, and you'll be ahead of 90% of drivers and honestly, ahead of many mechanics too. Do me a favor. If you've ever been quoted an outrageous repair price for something that turned out to be simple, drop a comment below. I want to know this information is helping you. And if you found value in this video, hit that like button and subscribe because I post new money-saving automotive secrets every single week, designed to put power and knowledge back in your hands where it belongs. Remember, Most repair shops aren't trying to scam you, but their business model is built on parts and labor. A reset doesn't generate revenue. A repair does. So before you authorize that expensive quote, try these free resets first. Your wallet will thank you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.